Good morning and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom. Our wisdom, as I said before, comes from the Lord and from the Word of God, which I'm going to go to right now. I'm going to read Psalm 100, verses 1 through 3. It says, "Shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him singing with joy. Acknowledge that the Lord is God. He made us and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture." Okay, so there's a lot packed into these three verses, so I'm just going to kind of break it down a little bit for you. Um, Shout with joy. The meaning of that word is to raise a battle cry, to sound a trumpet blast, or shout in triumph or in praise. So really, shouting for joy is a form of worship. We are praising God when we're shouting for joy in this context. So, going on to the next verse, worship the Lord with gladness. So the word worship in Hebrew is abad. I hope I'm saying it right. Abad. That means to work for, to serve, to labor for someone, to be a servant. The root of the word is abad, which means servant, slave, or laborer. So generally, a servant is someone who is at the command of a superior. So God is our superior. And when we are laboring for him or we're serving him, whether we're doing ministry, whether we're working with children, babysitting in the nursery at church, working in a food bank, whatever it is, whenever you are doing ministry, you are serving God. And that's a form of worship. It's not, worship isn't just singing. That's a form of worship, but there's so much more to worship. When you're at your job, when you're working, and you're doing your job well, and you're working as you're working for the Lord, that's a form of worship. Because the Bible's very clear, no matter what we do, we're to do it for the Lord. And when we're doing that, we're worshiping him. So that's worship. Um, the difference between a human overlord or a master versus God is that God deeply is concerned and cares about us. He wants what is best for each of us. So that's really the biggest difference. He's really more concerned about us and loves us deeply. So moving on to the next verse, acknowledge. Okay, really, verse 3 is about acknowledging, and I'm going to break down what we're acknowledging. Acknowledge, one, that the Lord is God. Okay, that's pretty self explanatory. There's only one God. So we're acknowledging the Lord is God. Excuse me. Two, we're acknowledging that God made us. Obviously, we read about that in Genesis. He is our creator, He made us. Three, we are His. So we're His children, especially when we have dedicated our life to the Lord, when we have prayed the sinner's prayer and asked Jesus to come into our hearts. We are His. He created us. Everyone does belong to Him, but we are His children when we have dedicated our lives to Him. Okay, number 4, we are His people. And number 5, we are the sheep of His pasture. Okay, sheep, the Bible uses a lot of talking about sheep. Sheep are stupid. Sorry, but that's what sheep are, and they need a shepherd to basically keep them alive. So a shepherd guides them and leads them, and the sheep follow them. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be sheep following our shepherd. So that's just a real simple explanation of that. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I did want to kind of break that down a little bit. Do some more research on these verses. Just these 3 verses are so much packed into it. So with that, I want to leave you for today. And I'm going to continue on this verse or this chapter tomorrow. So in the meantime, you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.